All right, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Tuesday Night Live. We're here. We're doing it. We're hanging out. Doing tonight. So like the most of these are solo shows. We go where you want to go. You ask the questions, and we have the conversation. So, got a bunch of people here already. This is awesome. Okay, so we're gonna run the intro, and I'll be right back in just a second. All right, so what's Eduardo Sanchez is here in the house. Oh, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, be sure to put in comments in the live chat where you're watching from, and what did you do today? Did you run? Did you do some strength exercises? Was it a rest day for you? That'd be fun to hear what everyone's doing. What's up? Sarah O's here. Hey, everyone. So glad to be here tonight. I've missed the past few live streams. That's all right. Glad to have you tonight, Sarah. Dave Lee is here. Happy Tuesday. What's up? Brett's here from Texas Hill Country. How's it going? Justin Turnbow's here. Hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Inferno, USA. Gotta love the humidity. Yeah, it's just so incredibly hot right now. The past couple weeks really have just been just crazy. And especially with the humidity. My run today was actually pretty good, and I wanted to talk about a couple things. So remind me if we get too far and I haven't talked about kind of like updates to nutrition for running, how that's going. But just and then just like building up miles, like having like a really, really good couple weeks. I was just looking at my Strava and, you know, how you go to your profile page and it shows like your weekly chart. Well, the one big, huge spike from Cruel Jewel is about to go away. So, it's that kind of reminded me. I was like, okay, like it's been a while. It's been a while since Cruel Jewel, like got to get back into gear. Took a couple weeks down, but then have been building back up. So Replay SRE is here from Wichita, Kansas. Ran 7 miles today. Nice. Justin said intervals with incredible heat and humidity. Dizzy at the end. Oh, geez. Yeah. Been there. Mile 62 running channel says, I ran 6 miles in 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot in Georgetown, Texas. Yes. I bet it is. Tyler's here. 12 miles of North Shore Trail in Flowerman, Texas. Wow. That's awesome. Adam's here. Hey, Ryan from Queenstown, New Zealand. What's up? Sarah did an easy 4 miles and ankle strengthening exercises. Oh, nice. That's a good idea. Have 50K in less than 4 weeks. Nice. Hope you're excited about that. I mean, I'm sure you are. But that's 50K is a great distance. I love that distance. So good luck over the next 4 weeks, Sarah. Jameson is here from Mount Pleasant, Texas. Double today for 10 miles. Nice. And warm here as well. Yeah. Dave Lee, Plymouth, Massachusetts, ran 6.5 miles today. Trying to get back into training for my 100-miler in October. Awesome. That's when my next one is too. Hey, Josie's here. Hey, from Montreal. Strength workout today. Nice. Soy Sauce 007 is from Nashville. And Nicholas Bodner is here. 6.2 tempo run here in Pennsylvania. So that's awesome. So what I've been doing over the past couple weeks, past couple months, like really since Cruel Jewel, like that, I've been thinking about changing up my nutrition strategy for racing and for training, but mainly for racing, because it's just like I was really hoping that I would have success with my nutrition plan at Cruel Jewel, because when I started running hundreds like 5 years ago, which is, it sounds like a long time, but it's really not that long. Like I'm still consider myself like, like I'm still learning a ton. I'm still kind of a beginner at this. So like my first couple were kind of slower, like mountain races, and I actually did really well with nutrition. I never like crashed real bad. I never, my first two hundreds, I don't think I ever even puked or like felt like I was going to puke. But then since then, it's just like I haven't had a race like that since then. And I've attempted 500s since then. And so my thinking going into Cruel Jewel was, okay, we're going to tweak a few things here and there. We're going to use like spring energy gels. We're going to, get our calories from gels at the beginning, maybe grab some stuff at aid stations if it looks good. And then we're going to hydrate with water. Because there's a lot of like really good science out there about that. But everyone's different. And so after Cruel Jewel and me getting like sick again around like mile 35, which was still like, what was that? Like probably like 10 hours into the race or something like that. Maybe longer. No, it's probably about 10. But I was just like, I just have to try something different. So, kind of, on a, like just a random, I just spotted some like random, I don't know if it was a Instagram picture or a YouTube video or something, but, it was somebody talking about UCAN, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to use UCAN a lot, when I was doing triathlons, before I like got any type of, before I was even like really into like a whole lot of like social media or anything, like, before I was an ambassador for any products, I was just like, I used UCAN and a few other things, but I really liked it. And then I quit using UCAN when I became an ambassador for Tailwind, which I did, like I used Tailwind like a lot. I liked it a lot back then. And then like never went back to using UCAN. And what UCAN is it's like, it's like got zero sugar. It's a starch. It's technically called like a super starch. It's like a slow carb. So it's supposed to not spike your blood sugar when you take it. It's supposed to give you like an even, kind of like, an even dose of carbs over an hour to 90 minutes. And it's like people don't use it as much for like shorter races when they're like higher intensity, but anything like endurance related, like if you don't need like that quick sugar, you can if you can rely on slow carbs, over the course of a couple hours during an event, UCAN is like really, really great. So I've been kind of like experimenting going back to that, and it's been working like really well as far as my nutrition goes. And I take like a little bit right before my run. And then if it's like a run of like a couple hours, like I'll drink it throughout the run. But if it's less than 90 minutes, I won't take any, on the run. And it's been really good. Like my last couple runs, like, yesterday I did, I think like 8 miles. Today I did like 9.5 miles, like in the middle of the day, like pretty much on an empty stomach, except for taking a scoop of UCAN like right before I went. And it was like so what I'm trying to say is like my body's kind of like getting used to it again, I think, which is really, really exciting, because I think that I'm going to keep working on this and try to figure this out, because like IT 100 coming up in October, I don't want to have the same stomach problems that I've been having, where 10 hours into a race, which is probably, maybe it has more to do with that, like less than miles. Cause like Kettle, Mohican, Hallucination, like all these races, Cruel Jewel, like all these races I've done recently, somewhere around the middle is when my stomach goes. But maybe it's around like 10 hours. Like I should look into that. So I don't want to have the same type of problems at this race. So just kind of changing it up a little bit. Brett says, are you finding it hard with such a quick turnaround for another 100 after Cruel Jewel? I have another Hard Rock qualifier in September, and keeping the momentum after Cruel Jewel has been really tough. Yes, I totally agree with that. You should take a couple weeks of like downtime. And it doesn't mean like no running. Like maybe the first week, no running. Maybe the second week, 1 or 2 runs. Enjoy that time. Enjoy the success of having finished a 100-miler. Take some time to do the things that you were missing out on over the last couple months. But then, you slowly do have to get back into it if you have a race coming up kind of quick, like if you're trying to do 2 in a year or more. So I have found that kind of difficult to get back in. And for me, it was really great. Like going out to Western States was like a huge motivation boost. Had I not had that, like I probably still would be like in a similar place that I am right now. Because I can just I start getting really nervous when it gets down to about 12 weeks until a 100-miler. Around 20 weeks is when I like to start like forming my season and my training season, like put in like the 4 or 5 blocks that I want to do, like try to plan those out. 20 weeks out is usually where I start with that, but around 12 weeks is where it's like, okay, like you like got to start getting really serious here, because you've got about 8 weeks until you need to start thinking about tapering, or like your final hard workouts. And like that's a short time. It's short. So that's where we're at right now. Like I'm trying to get my miles up to around like 70 to 80 miles a week, here in a couple weeks. So this past week, I like just was over 60 this week. We'll see. Like I have some events going on over the weekend that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get like a long run in really. So I'm trying to bank as many miles at the beginning of the week as I can. So this week I might be close to maybe like 50. But then after that, it'll be pretty consistent, 65, 70, and then in between like 70 and 80, hopefully, or in between like 60 and 70, maybe hitting 80 on my longest weeks, and maybe more. We'll see. We're like a lot of it also has to do with injuries, like keeping those away. My plantar fasciitis is driving me crazy. But like I'm doing everything that you're supposed to do to take care of it, which stay active. You're supposed to stay active. Like a lot of stretching of the calf, some like massage of the plantar fascia. You can use like a massage gun on it, which I've been doing like every night, which really helps break up. Like if there's any type of like scar tissue starting to form or anything, you just got to keep blood flowing. Like blood needs to be flowing through there so that it can heal. And unfortunately that area, like right around the heel, like a lot of blood doesn't reach that area very much. It's not a high, anyway, you just gotta do a few things, and I've been like really keeping up on those things, and it's been like hit or miss like the last couple of days, but definitely hurts more when I have longer days, like the day after. Anytime I get like a shorter run in, like 6 miles or so or less, it feels pretty good the next day. But you want to stay active, and I'm trying to get to the point where it's just like I just don't mind the pain anymore. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, good luck, Brett, with your next Hard Rock qualifier. That's awesome. I only do one of those every 2 years. You only need one every 2 years to keep your qualification, to keep yourself in the lottery. So that's all I do. Most of them you have to travel like really far. For me, there's nothing in the Midwest that's a Hard Rock qualifier. So it's either like a long driving trip or a flight somewhere. So, but glad to punch that ticket at Cruel Jewel so that I can get into the lottery for the next 2 years. Because I think we'll see what happens with the Hard Rock lottery, because I don't think any of maybe 2019 will carry over. Let's see, let's actually look that up. I don't know. Let's see here. Put this up for you guys too. So my last qualifier was in 2018. Qualifying. I don't know if they're keeping the 2019. Oh, okay, they are. A bunch. Okay, yeah. So if you ran a race in 2019, you can apply for 2021 or 2022. Depending on which race it was, it looks like. But pretty much anything, if you ran it in 2019, you can apply. So that's going to be, that's going to be a lot of people. Like there's probably going to be no drop. The lottery will probably the pool will increase for Hard Rock. But yeah, then for the 2023 Hard Rock, which means applying in 2022, you just have to run a race in one of those blue years. So yeah, we've got May, Cruel Jewel right there. So the 2021 Cruel Jewel will allow me to apply for the 2022 Hard Rock, and it will also allow me to apply for the 2023 Hard Rock. So that's pretty sweet. That's the way Hard Rock works. You only have to apply every 2 years. I actually like that. Because you can run a lot of different races. All right, let's see. JB Vlog says, wondering how often do we need to train for ultramarathon races? That all depends on you and like your experience level. But what I would say is usually it's a lot, especially if you're training for 100 milers. But honestly, you can get through them on very little training. I did that a couple years ago. I basically sat on the couch for 3 months and then ran a 100 miler. Justin says 25 days till Leadville 100, and I could not feel more nervous. DNF'd it 2 years ago, and the nerves are crazy. Leadville is an awesome race, though. I mean, so pumped to one day I will go back there and run it. But it was an awesome race. The aid station food was pretty subpar. That was the biggest downer. It was basically just like marathon food. Like you get like peanuts and M&Ms and stuff and chips. And they did have ramen, but it was actually it was very weird. And I guess this is a Leadville thing, but they were putting mashed potatoes in the bottom of the ramen and then dumping ramen on top. And it was just it was such a weird combination. Didn't eat any of that. I actually did have just a cup of just plain ramen at one of the aid stations. They made one special for me. I was like, I just don't want mashed potatoes and ramen. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the rest of the race is amazing. Like the aid station volunteers are great everywhere. The course is beautiful. Going up and over Hope Pass, just amazing. But the interesting thing is, you're going to have to, if you want to go over Hope Pass, starting this year, I believe. Yeah, I think the rules changed for this year. Pacers are not allowed to start at the turnaround point anymore. So if you don't know the course, it's an out and back, And right before you do the turnaround, you go up and over like this massive, massive climb. It takes forever. But when you get to the pass, it's called Hope Pass. And it's just, I mean, in a race, 100% the most beautiful place I've ever been was that place right there. In the past, a pacer could start at halfway. So your runner would go up and over Hope Pass, and then you'd pick them up and you turn around and go right back over. Well, it's so congested down there, and and it took forever to get to that aid station, that they are not allowing pacers to start there anymore. So, and it's not even a crewed aid station anymore. So if you want to go up and over Hope Pass, you actually have to run the race. It was kind of a cool opportunity to see the full course starting at the halfway point. But that's not going to be the case anymore. Like at Leadville, and that was a really tight cutoff too. Because the race, it was a 30 hour limit. And I want to say that the cutoff for 50 miles was like 13 hours or something. And there was a lot of people that got cut off at halfway. Oh, Brett, you're doing Mogollon. That's awesome. That's a race that's been on my list for a couple years. I want to get out there and do that one someday. And I think, did they just change that course too, where you're going to run a lot more of the rim? It sounds like, I think they did this year. Yeah, it's awesome. Dan Rodriguez says, what is your strength training routine? So for me, it's very simple, and doesn't take very long. It takes 20 or 30 minutes. And I don't do it that often either. I don't do it very much when I'm training for mountain-ish races, because I get a lot of that from climbing and descending in my training. But when I'm training for flat races, like I am for this fall, I definitely will be doing more of it and trying to keep myself accountable to that. But it's just body weight exercises. And you can Google it, a routine that is pretty common and pretty easy to find it's called the Oregon Strength Routine. And it was the Oregon track or cross country team or something from the 90s or something. It was it became a popular strength routine to do. And you can do it. It's all body weight exercises. You don't need any weights or anything. But I've been just following that for years. Do it once or twice a week. And it really does help keep away injuries and just help with pretty much everything in your running game. The reason why I don't do it is because a lot of it, when you're training when you're just doing training for Cruel Jewel, when I was doing 17,000 feet of vert per week, I was getting a lot of that anyway. And it took so long to do that I just didn't have time a lot. But, yeah. So let's see here. John says, boo, Leadville. We'll go back someday. Awesome. What's up? New subscriber. So, what else you guys got? We can take a look at my, Strava real quick, just to kind of show you or actually, no, let's look at Training Peaks first. That's cooler. So here's been so this is the last 365 days. The blue line represents what's estimated to be my fitness. So this was the build up to Cruel Jewel, and that was a pretty solid build. I had basically no nothing kind of went wrong during that. And then in March I raced the OPSF 50K, and then kind of tapered down, kind of had to recover and I also got sick here. That I do remember that was not fun. So I got sick right here, right after OPSF, and then kind of was able to hold steady and then tapered down into Cruel Jewel. And then this down here is the start of my build to Indiana Trail 100, and it's going pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. You see when your training stress balance and your acute training load cross and start going in opposite directions, you're starting to like really seriously build your fitness again. So for the past couple weeks, like, I've been doing a pretty solid job with that. And then like if we hop over to Strava, you can just kind of see like the past couple weeks I've been going pretty well. 50 miles, 62 miles, and then so far 17 this week. So pretty happy with how my training's been going the last couple weeks, and just excited to be running outside again. We'll say that. Training for Cruel Jewel, there's a lot on the treadmill. Let's see who else is in the house. What's up? Chase's Summit is here. How does your Training Peaks fitness stack up to the terrible Strava fitness graph? I don't even know where to find that, honestly. Training log, training calendar, explore. I don't even know. I don't even look at it. Now I do look at. I know where to find it on the app. I don't know where to find it on the website though. But they're not so dissimilar that it would. I would not follow a. I can't even find it. What's going on, Strava? I wouldn't trust Strava with my actual training. But yeah, it is nowhere to be found. Sorry, Dave. I use Training Peaks. I've used Training Peaks for years and years, and I would recommend everybody. Like, a lot of people like wonder, like, how do you track all your fitness? Like, how do you do all that, like, sort of stuff? And anytime I get a new watch or any type of fitness app that I'm using, like, I try to make sure that all of that data goes into Training Peaks. Because I've got however many different watch companies, with my data is just like scattered everywhere. But on each of those websites, I make sure that they link to Training Peaks. And so no matter what watch I'm using, whether it's an Apple Watch, or currently I've been using the Wahoo Element Rival a lot, or Garmin, Polar, any of those, I make sure that that data goes to Training Peaks. I also make sure it goes to Strava, because that's just fun. So all my accounts are just automatically linked to both of those places. And so every single run or whatever I do, like I tested the swim function on the Wahoo the other day. So that all gets dumped into both places. And then you can just track everything really easily. And you can use, like, I don't even log into Garmin Connect or Polar's website. Some of these others like Wahoo or Koros, all they have is an app anyway. So I don't even mess with that kind of stuff. Dave says, training, fitness, and freshness? That's weird. Okay, let's see here. It's like what it's doing is, like, I don't know exactly how it's getting its numbers, because I don't know if I have put in like my thresholds properly into Strava. But yeah, it's looking like the cross. Okay. Let's test this. So my fitness and my fatigue and my form is what they call it, crossed over on 6:30, and over here we crossed over on 7:17. That's interesting. What was I doing on 6:30? Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so the threshold for crossing over fitness and freshness on Strava is much lower. So basically when I started training again is when they started showing me that my fatigue was going up and that my form was going down. But Training Peaks isn't as nice to you. Like you have to put in more work on Training Peaks for it to actually show that you're progressing. Strava wants to keep you on the platform, so they will just be nice to you and tell you good things, probably. So, I don't know. Can I make this? Oh, last 3 months. Let's see. Let's do full year. See, so it's, I mean, it's similar. Like they don't look that different. So I don't know. Maybe Strava's come a long way but I never go to this page. I just check it out in Training Peaks. And I really do pay attention to this. I pay attention to these other graphs. Like here's another one. So like the last 90 days, these are my heart rate zones. Zone 1, 74% of my time has been spent in Zone 1, which a lot of that has to do with last 90 days. Like that was that. So that will include Cruel Jewel. That will include like a lot of my treadmill training and everything. We could change that to be like last 30. But yeah, I look at all these graphs and pay attention to what's going on. Very much. Nicholas says, yeah, I like that Suunto started showing some of the Training Peaks data right in the Suunto app. Oh, that's cool. I haven't used the Suunto watch in a long time. The only, I guess the only one I have is the Bear 9, Suunto 9 Barrow. I think that's the only one I have. But yeah, I haven't used that in a while. John says, well, there goes potential sponsor. Strava's out. Yeah, I wouldn't take it anyway. There's your next vlog idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, could compare those two. Yeah, I mean, for me, Strava, like everything goes on Strava. Like if you, so like if you're wondering, did I run today? And there's not a run, it means I didn't. Everything goes on Strava. Yeah, I don't like pause my watch at like stoplights or anything like that. So it's just all there. I just put it all out there. But yeah, I think Strava's cool because you can like, it's just fun to like pay attention to what other people are doing. And at least for me, like I do not get caught up very much in comparing myself to others on Strava. I know a lot of people do. And a lot of people can't handle that. And I am sort of like that in other ways, like with other social medias. Like sometimes I have to take breaks from certain platforms or whatever. But for me, Strava has never affected me like that. And so I just think it's fun checking out what people are doing. The only time I do kind of sometimes struggle is when I know that me and someone else are training for the same race. And then I will kind of like check out what they're doing and be like, oh, maybe I should do 25 today too, or something like that. But other than that, like, I just think it's fun. Yeah. All right. What else you guys got? Anybody else? Let's see what questions, comments did I miss. Justin says, don't depend on aid station food except at Twin Lakes. It's pretty sad. So this is talking about Leadville too. Yeah. It's just, Leadville was just like there, like it's a really great race. Like I really loved being there. I think just the history of it and like the camaraderie of like the race director and just how he brings everyone together. Ken, I think he's still the race director. But it was just a really fun time. I mean, being in Leadville was awesome. It was very difficult for someone like me from Indiana. But I just thought like I just have like a lot of like just like fun memories of that trail and everything too. Like Hope Pass was amazing, like I said. And I'll go back there someday, hopefully, as a runner. But yeah, right now I'm just focused on Indiana Trail 100 and just really trying to figure out like what my potential is as for a flat race. Like I just want to see like how much I can train for like a flat 100 miler, and like what can I do. Yeah, so that's got me actually really excited. Like I get really excited for training for mountain races and big stuff like that, but this one is like different for me. It's like it's in my home state. It's one that I've kind of like I volunteered at it 3 times, and it's one that I've never done. So I'm just really excited to go to it. The big bummer will be if it's like bad weather, and I don't know. I mean, I guess that's part of it, but when you're going there trying to see like what you can do, like time goal wise, like see if I can break 24 hours, like see if I can run faster than that, see like how my fitness, how I can handle the different sections of the race, like how, like what happens, like because I know like now I've done a couple, like I know what it feels like to go through the 40 miles and through 50 miles and then 60, 70, 80, like and to see like if I can put like all my eggs in one basket and train in a way that I can, run IT 100 well, what's the potential? Like what could it feel like at mile 80? So I don't know. I'm really excited about that. Isaac says, I have some bad news, being MRI'd for a possible pelvic stress fracture. Oh no. Your videos will help with recovery. I'm sorry, Isaac. That sounds like it's painful. Sounds really painful. Good luck with that MRI. Hopefully it's not an actual stress fracture. Good luck, Isaac. Nicholas says, do you think apps like Strava keep people running for likes and not necessarily with a running plan, especially the segment parts of Strava? Yeah, I think so. I think some people, that's an interesting point because, I think some people might do it for that in the same way that people stress out about their Instagram post. Or their YouTube video, I think that, but I don't know, like Strava's just really different because it's like, it just is what it is. Like I go for a run and, it's, like, I guess, so the thought did cross my mind during my Saturday run, which I don't even know what the average pace ended up being, but during a couple of those sections where I was just walking, I was like, wow, this is going to look great on Strava. So like every once in a while, I guess the idea does cross my mind of like, what are people going to think of me? But luckily I don't struggle with Strava in the same way that I struggle with other social media platforms, that can get to me. But so what I'm saying is that, yeah, if like, I totally get it. If, Strava is like a negative thing. If it is, just take a break. You can turn all your runs to, upload, automatically so that it's only you. That's what I do. All my runs, like they upload automatically from my watches and everything, but it's like the privacy mode is on only me. So I can go in and I can like add a couple pictures if I want, or change the title or something, or update my shoes. So the reason why I did that was because people, like nothing wrong with it, but I would start getting these comments like instantly saying, like Nova Blast again today, or something about the shoes. And I was like, wait, I haven't even like touched my phone yet. It just automatically updated and it picked the default shoe. So then that's when I turned it to automatically upload to with the privacy mode of only me. And then I can change the shoe and then I can make it public and everyone sees it at the same time with the correct data. Isaac says, would you ever run a 24-hour track race? Not right now, but I can't say I would never run one. That just sounds like such a, I mean, like for me, ultra running is about moving my body through, like terrain. I just love that. Like I love moving my body like across the earth or whatever. Long distances. So like if it's a looped course, I mean, the smallest looped course I've done is a 16.5 mile course. And that was like annoying, but it was big enough that you kind of like forget certain parts every once in a while. A track is so small that like just me currently, like my mental state of running, like I just couldn't do it right now, but I won't ever count it out because I assume that someday the challenge will probably attract me and I will probably try it someday. Justin says, Leadville, his son Cole took the reins in 2019. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, 2019, was that the year that I was? No, I was there in 2018. Yeah. Would you ever like to do Vol State? Now that is something that, I mean, again, it's like, man, like that's just a crazy, crazy race. I don't know. Like it's such a crazy race and such a crazy challenge that I think it could be fun, be responsible for yourself. You just carry a credit card and you stop at gas stations and get whatever you need, sleep wherever you can. I think that is just like, so that's like I don't know, that's out there. But so yeah, I don't know if I'd ever do it. Maybe. Oh, someone's about to get banned. Chelsea Flynn, goodbye. Let me know if all her comments disappeared. Hopefully they did. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's get back to talking about ultra running and not people spamming me. Brian says, although I have a YouTube channel that shows where I've been, I don't like the idea of Strava showing everywhere and where I was today. Yeah, for sure too. I get that. Like, especially if you're someone that like travels a lot and you don't want people knowing that you're not home, like definitely understand that. For me, like I have my privacy zone set big enough that like you can't even see my neighborhood. Hopefully not. Yeah. Dave Lee says, oh no, Isaac, hopefully it's not too bad. Good luck with the recovery. Yep. Good luck, Isaac. Nicholas says, also just downloaded Training Peaks, excited to play with it. Yeah. Good luck with that. I mean, just all you got to do is just connect. You got to, if you have like a Garmin, you got to go into Garmin Connect and connect, like, link it to Training Peaks. Or if you have like a Wahoo or Polar or something, you go into that app and then authorize Training Peaks, and then it'll just send it there automatically, and then just use it to collect data for a while and just look at your data there. And then over time, like I've got like 10 years of data in Training Peaks right now. So I've got just a ton of data, and I can go back and look. I can look at, what was I doing in like 2014, something like that. So it's just cool. Laura says, I like the Ryan Clayton Run Club on Strava. Nice. That's awesome. And thanks, Isaac. It looks like they all did disappear. Awesome. Nick says, Ryan, would you ever consider RDing? Good question. Yes. I've been talking to a friend about creating a race. So I don't know if it will ever happen, or if it does happen, if it would happen soon. Probably not. But we've been talking about we've been like gauging our interests in how interested would we be in trying to set up something like this, because wouldn't want to just do a race and have it I don't know, have it be bad. You'd want it to be good. And so it takes a lot of work to put on a race. Brian says, favorite Michigan race. I think the only Michigan race I've done is the Hallucination 100. I don't think I've traveled to Michigan for anything other than that one. So I guess it would be the Hallucination 100. Justin says, would you do Cascade Crest? Answer is yes. I did actually apply for that about 3 or 4 years ago. I applied for it, but didn't get picked. Only once, because the timing hasn't worked out since then. But that looks like an absolutely beautiful race. I love that area of the country. Was out there for Bigfoot 200, and it's just beautiful. Like, I just love it. Love it. I didn't run Bigfoot 200, but I was out there for it. Pikus says, Ryan, do you enjoy running in the Nova Blast? If so, why? And did you try the second Nova Blast yet? Yes. I have both of them, and I really like both of them a lot. My Nova Blast 2, I think I'm going to, so I went through 50 miles so fast in a week. And I was like, okay, I just didn't have time to do a review video then. And then before I knew it, I hit 100 miles, and I was like, I don't have time to do a review video now either. And now I'm at 60. And so I'm thinking about just waiting until I get to 200 and doing a 200 mile review on the Nova Blast 2, because they're surprisingly holding up really well. I mean, I guess it's not a surprise, but shouldn't be a surprise because they're good shoes, but I don't know. I'm surprised. They're good. They're still good at 160. I typically don't take my shoes that far. But yeah, I would recommend them. Felipe says, hey Ryan, just starting dabbling into the ultra distance, signed up for my first 50 miles in the fall. Any tips from jumping from 50K to 50 mile distance? Yeah, good question. So the 50K to 50 mile jump it's not huge, but it is enough that you need to take it seriously. And when I say it's not huge, it's not like jumping from a 50K to a 100 miler, or 50 mile to a 100 mile is a big jump. But going from a 50K to a 50 mile, you're going to add on a couple hours. So think about it that way. I mean, that really helps plan for these races, is when you take a realistic guess at how long it's going to take you, and then plan for those hours. So I would say, go out for, you've done a 50K and you're jumping up to a 50 mile, maybe, just add on a couple minutes or a minute or two per mile, and then see what that would look like in terms of hours. So you're thinking about, and then think about the terrain as well. Is it in the mountains? Is it flat? Is it on pavement? And then take a look at that and say, my 50K took me 6 hours to do, and I'm thinking that my 50 miler is going to take me 10 hours or 12 hours. And then think about it like that, about eating. You're going to have, if you think about it in calories, or if you think about it in carbs, or if you think about it in, I don't know, sandwiches, just start planning that out, and just start mentally preparing for that time to be out there. Because from me, my experience, and what a lot of people say is that the thing that surprised them was just how long it took when they jumped up to the next distance. Because being out there for 10 or 12 hours is a lot different than like 6. So just mentally prepare for the time that you're going to be on your feet out on the trail, having to eat from aid stations, drinking lots of water. And then that's the mental side. The physical side, I typically would say, if you trained well for a 50K, you're probably running as many miles as you could per week. So I wouldn't really say it's necessary to, if you're already doing that, I wouldn't be like, oh, you have to up your miles. Like you probably don't. If you're running like as much as you can, stick with that. But what I would say is that maybe 4 or 5 weeks out, think about doing a couple back-to-backs, like a Saturday and a Sunday, or a Friday and a Saturday, or a Monday and a Tuesday. Take 2 days off work or something like that, and do, like maybe 20 miles one day and 20 miles the next, and do a back-to-back. And then maybe on another weekend, still about a month out, maybe just go run a 50K. And those would be the two things I would say, is like mentally prepare like hardcore for it, but then physically do pretty much the same training, as long as it was good training, but then add in a couple like really long days or really long weekends, about a month to 6 weeks out from the race. And then just go do it and have fun. Hope that helped. Let's see. Adam says Run Gap for iOS is awesome as a one-stop shop to sync other platforms. Yeah, I have that too. I have a Garmin sync to that, and then Run Gap uploads to Smash Run, Strava, Final Search. Yeah, and that's great. I don't know if I'm wondering if Run Gap, if that is a subscription, because I know I pay for mine, but I don't know why I pay for it. But I use Run Gap because I have to, because of the treadmill app that I use. The treadmill app doesn't sync anywhere, and so I have to share that file like in the share sheet on iOS with Run Gap, and then Run Gap will shoot it everywhere. But yeah, good suggestion on that app. Ricky says, just finished packing my drop bag. Thanks to your drop bag advice videos. Awesome. Helpful in staying organized. Heading to Utah for the Tusher 70K high altitude. Any altitude tips? Yeah. First, I'll say with the drop bag, I've gotten so much criticism on my drop bag videos. So I'm very happy when anybody says that they helped because, I'm sharing my side of everything as I learn it. And so, when I look back on a drop bag video, maybe I made 2 years ago, it's not what I would do now. And a lot of people are like, dude, seriously, chill. Like, it's just 50 miles, or, you're seriously going to take all that stuff. And it's like, well, at the time I needed it and wanted it, and it made me feel like I was prepared. And I think that's the most important thing, is that with your drop bags, if you're a minimalist and you're gonna take 1 pair of shoes, 1 pair of socks, and like 3 gels in a drop bag, you might use all that. But if you're like most people, you're gonna take everything you have and shove it into like 3 drop bags, and you're gonna use like 1% of it. But the fact that you have it there might make you feel better, and it might relax you, and it might like take some stress away. And therefore, is that helping? I think so. So I don't know. Depending on which drop bag video you watched, hopefully it was good advice, and hopefully it helped you. For Cruel Jewel and everything, like I just made sure I had some extra clothes if I needed it, an extra pair of shoes at one of them, made sure I had some gels and like nutrition stuff that I really thought I might need, but it always, like, my nutrition always goes south in these races, and then I just like don't touch any of it. So like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm just glad that it's helping some people. Okay, so your question on any altitude tips. And by the way, Tushers, that looks like a beautiful race. Oh my gosh. Like, that looks like an incredible place. So have fun there. And yeah, altitude tips. I don't think there's a lot you can do unless you're planning on going out there like 2 weeks early, which most people can't. So it's just going to slow you down, and you're just going to have to accept that your body is not functioning as well as it does wherever you live. Like if you live at sea level or whatever, you're just going to have to accept that and just go at the pace that your body's dictating you to go. Things are going to feel way harder. Climbing up a mountain, you're going to be way out of breath. You're going to be super tired, and you're not going to know why, because you're 2 miles into this race. But it's the altitude. And so once you can kind of just accept that and say, okay, like this is just going to take slightly longer to get up this mountain than it would back home. Most people are okay after that. If you're actually having like medical problems, definitely like get help from someone at an aid station or something like that. Other than that, it's just gonna, like, you might get a headache. Like Tylenol really helped me for altitude headaches. It took it away real fast. I don't know why, but that really worked for me. So, you know, like, could work. But yeah, I mean, it'll take longer. It's going to be harder. So stay positive and just identify the problem early, accept it, move on. Can't do anything about it. Just keep climbing. But good luck. Looks like a beautiful race. Brian says, I signed up for hallucination because I need that for a Western States qualifier. I'm kind of a veteran doing a crash course training for another 100. Nice. Good luck at hallucination, Brian. I thought you'd done that before. Maybe that's what you're saying. But yeah, there's nothing difficult about that course other than the fact that there are 100 miles in a row that you have to run. It's just but it's fun. It's really fun. I loved coming back to the campground with all the bands playing and everything. Pika says, are you still using a Salomon hydration vest? And if so, which version? Yes, I am. I'm using the Sense Pro 5. Oh, yeah. A couple of people are chiming in saying you need to hydrate a lot more at altitude. That is definitely true. Forgot to say that. Yeah, Marky Mark says, for me, the weird part was that jumping from 50K to 50 miles wasn't tough. And it's not a huge jump, but jumping up to 100K was difficult. My legs couldn't take the additional 12 miles the first 2 times I tried 100K. Yeah, I mean, I would say that you're probably not alone in thinking that. Nicholas says, have you used Zwift for treadmill running? No, I never have. I've used it a ton on the bike, so I know what it is. I like it a lot. It's just for when I'm on the treadmill, I just watch like Netflix and stuff like that on my TV. Justin says, I'm very thankful for your insight on drop bag videos. Please don't quit sharing them. It has helped the world. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Justin. Sarah also says, I love your drop bag videos. We're all in different stages of the journey, so super helpful to see what you do. Thank you guys so much. Marky Mark says the same thing. I thought your drop bag videos were great. Yeah, rather be prepared than unexpected. Oh, awesome. Thank you guys all. Dave Lee also says that I'm the opposite of a minimalist. Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, you know, like, it's just a weird thing. Like, when you put yourself out there on social media or YouTube or something, and you're learning something, You know, you're always going to have the grumpy people that are just like, come on, you don't know what you're doing. But can't listen to them. John says, you can't overpack a drop bag. The only thing you can do with a drop bag is not prepare enough. Done that a few times and wish I had packed more. There you go. There you go. Tyler says, any tips or products on sweat proofing your sunglasses? Like Rain-X for my glasses. I don't know. I know that there's stuff that you can buy for swim goggles that you can spray in there that will help it from fogging up, but I don't know if that would do anything for sweat. But yeah, I have the same problem. Like sweat drips inside my glasses, and then you try and clean them like on your shorts or something, but your shorts are soaked, and then it just turns into a mess. Let's see. Chuck says, how do you guys feel about cupless races? I might do a 50K that has it, and sure, it will slow me down a bunch. Typically only spend 34 seconds at each aid station. Oh, I actually think it's a good idea. Less trash will be great. And usually in a cupless race, they will give you, at least a few that I've done, they'll give you like a small cup, a collapsible cup that you just like stick in your pocket. And then as you come up to the aid station, you just pull it out and fill it up and go. You're good. I don't think it'll slow you down at all. But good question. I actually like it. I think it's great. Hydration tip for going at altitude. Yep. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. We've been going for over an hour. If you do have any like last minute final questions or anything, make sure you get them in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. It was fun as always. It was a blast to hang out with you guys. Yeah, be sure to follow along. Let's see here. What do you do? Check out the merch if you guys haven't picked any of this up yet. RyanClayton.shop. I am going to be dropping a hat soon. I promise. I am. I'm just going to do it. It's going to drop. And you guys can buy a hat. It'll be the same hat that I've been wearing in my last couple videos. I like it. Design is cool. So we're going with it. It's simple, like no nonsense, just a logo. So I'm cool with it. And then, yeah, be sure to follow along. If you guys aren't in the Discord group, go ahead and join that. Yeah, lots of conversation going on in between videos, in between live streams from a lot of very knowledgeable people. And it's a good community, good group of people. So thank you guys again for stopping by. I will see you again soon. Bye.